Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I want to bless you. That was Luca Angelo. I want to do a quick video for Big Brother. This is the nominations video. We already saw Memphis won the HOH. This is going to be a hard one. This is going to be a hard review. That's why I want it to be quick, because I know I'm going to say some things that people are not going to like. I know from my last video, I said some things that people did not like because people unsubscribed. Why? Why do we all have to have the same opinion? Why can't I speak from my point of view and everyone respect each other's point of view? I respect yours. If you don't agree with me, I'm not going to hit delete, like whatever. I got my feelings for a second, but I know I'm going to say some things that people aren't going to agree with. So let's just get to it. The first thing I want to say, this is Memphis's HOH, his second HOH win. And for it to be the episode of let's see who's going to be HOH, let's see who's going to be nominated, we saw zero strategy. We saw one little bullshit meeting in the HOH room, and we'll get to that last. One little meeting in the HOH room. It's sad. Even the editors know we don't even have to edit in the strategy of the game because we already know who's going on the block. Let's just watch the black people fight. That was the edit of the show. It was no game, no strategy, no Memphis's, hey, congratulations, your second HOH, none of that. It was no alliance meetings, what should we do? It was none of that in a nomination episode. Even the editors knew what was going to happen. So the whole point of this episode was to set up David for the vote flip, because friends, you already know, she had to break down, do her acting. My best friend, why did my best friend have to leave the house? Why did my best friend have to leave the house? She had to do all of that. I don't know why she obviously is not playing. I don't understand the point of it. She's not playing it up for America because we know the real. My little ruffles is twisted in, but oh well. She's trying to make the others, David and Davon, fight. She's trying to make it seem like she voted to keep Ian and David flipped his vote. And for the one part, everyone is like, we don't trust David because he lied about his power. I'm like, that doesn't make him untrustworthy. That just tells you all he doesn't know how to play the game. He's not smart enough to come up with this vote flip and let's frame friends. Y'all should know. It pisses me off. I was watching the episode at work, don't tell nobody. But I was in the office by myself, so I played it, in the office, and I'm watching it, and I was working at the same time, in case y'all want to snitch. But no, I was getting pissed off. I'm like, no, Davon is not falling for this shit. The whole time, I'm getting pissed because Nicole and Danny are in the little storage room, in the little bedrooms, laughing at her ass. Laughing at you, Davon. The whole time. Maybe they showed it on the live feeds and they didn't show it on the edit, but it seemed like you didn't even question if Nicole could have flipped. It was like immediately, Davon was like, I knew not to trust David. I knew I couldn't trust David. And I'm like, David doesn't know how to play the game. He doesn't. He doesn't have the strategy within him. And what would be his motivation of letting you, friends, and Kevin vote out Tyler? I don't understand what David even gets out of changing his mind of doing that. Like, what does David get out of setting you up? Think about it, Day. Out of all the people that have been HOH, who flipped first? I don't understand when y'all played that knockout competition thing. Tyler already told you Danny was talking shit. Danny wants you and Bay out of the house. He already told you that. You have proof of that in that knockout HOH when Danny put you and Bailey up, Cody put you and Kevin up. Everybody, whenever somebody in your alliance came down, they put you up with somebody else. They were trying to knock you out. Your eyes wasn't open then. Then the next week's come around. Then that week come around, you and Bay are sitting on the block by yourself. Tyler does all this foolishness saying he gonna quit the game this, quit the game that, and ended up none of that happened. And you and Bailey on the block. Bailey goes home. You put your trust in Danny. Why, I don't know. Why, I don't know. You put your trust in Friends, the same bitch who crossed you the last time you played with her. But you don't question nothing she did. Like, you completely forgot that she fucked you over the last time, where it's like, I know Friends couldn't have flipped the vote. She wouldn't have flipped the vote. Why? Why? I don't understand why every week it's black people, some shade of black, some shade of color is sitting on this block. They are knocking you all out like bowling pins. And you, if it wasn't for you winning that damn veto last week, Kevin would have been gone. I don't understand what it's going to take for why Davon can't open her eyes and see it's us versus you. It's us versus you. And you aren't you, Davon. And it just, I was so enraged watching Day break down Kevin, argue with Kevin, talk to him like he was her little 2-year-old child, or however old her child is, I don't know. And I'm like, Day, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, Day, when you get to jury this week, because Day is going to jury this week. Point blank, period. Day is going to jury this week. When you get there and Ian tell you about the little alliance, or hell, Tyler might spill the beans in his little message like he spilled it with Ian, and you're going to look like a fucking idiot. And you're going to sit back and think, that bitch got me again. That bitch got me again. And I ain't gonna feel no ways about it, because you didn't even take the opportunity to look at the other side of the picture. And then Kevin did take the opportunity in his confessional and was like, what if Danny and Nicole are playing us and they really flipped the vote to set up me and Davon, which they did because y'all asses are sitting on the block. And what if they did this to set up me and Davon, and David is really telling the truth? That is a possibility, but it's a 5. I give it a 5% possibility. And I'm like, yo, you the dumbass too, because you're going to sit in jury with Davon the week after next. So let me move on. So that was the hard part of the episode. I'm sorry. I love Davon just like y'all love Davon. I really do. But we have to admit, when our girl just ain't got no good read on the game. Our girl just can't understand what's going on. She can't see for the life of her that she has no ends. Like, why do you think Danny and Nicole have your back when they haven't had your back all game? It's been Danny and Friends sitting in rooms laughing, making fun of people. And see, Bailey already said, on, if you haven't watched Bailey's I'm Out of the House interview on her channel, Bailey Daily, I watched this an hour interview. It's a great interview, her and Swaggy. She already said Danny and Friends were being bitches to them. If not to Davon, she said Danny was very condescending, would say slick shit, like passive aggressive shit to her. We already saw how she walked in a room and said, look at Davon's weave, and we like, bitch, look at your weave. And Davon is like, this my real hair. She already said, Bailey said in that interview, Danny and Friends were being bitches to her, and they weren't nice to her until it was the week that she went home, and they were just being nice because they were sending her along her way. It was like, oh, we thought you were XYZ. We thought you were the angry black girl, and you're really so nice. And she was like, I hate it when they said that to me. And I would hate when people, like, why would you prejudge me? Why would you don't know me. Why are you prejudging me? So if your girl Bailey said they were bitches, I know they were bitches to you too. And if they weren't bitches to you, they were at least bitches to the girl you said was your sister in the house. So why do you trust them? Why would you believe anything they say over David? Now, David, yes, I call him the idiot. I call David the dummy. He's the rookie. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know how to play the game. You know that, Day. You know he doesn't know how to play the game. So why do you think he's some mastermind that's setting up this split vote where Danny is going to break this tie and just to set up you and Kevin? Saying it out loud is funny. Let's move on from that. The only part of the episode I liked was the have-not ceremony. They showed them making these tacos. Those tacos look good. And here comes Memphis talking about it's time for the have-nots. And everybody is sitting there with faces full of food like, it could be me, so let me eat. And like Kevin was stuffing his face, Tyler was stuffing his face, Christmas was stuffing her face. It was hilarious. The only one who wasn't stuffing their face was Cody because he had cooked. And so Day and David get to pick. I'm so happy they got to pick and it wasn't no bullshit ass competition because I needed this moment for the show to be good. Day was like, Christmas, your ass can be a have-not for the week. And Christmas was like, really? What happened to Kevin? And then they flash back this scene where Christmas is staring over the balcony like she's the queen of Frozen or whatever in that Frozen ass robe she had on. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't nobody. Go sit your ass down and eat some slop. I hope them tacos was good, girl. And they was like, you just put me and my best friend on the block. You can't be a have-not for the week. Christmas was pissed. Red hot pissed. And I was glad to see it. Fuck you, bitch. You could be a have-not. I would have said it worse. What was the slick shit? I would have said something worse. But anyway, so now David has to pick somebody. He's like, Cody. Cody is even more mad because he forgot to grab his plate and stuff his face because he thought, oh, I'm the king of the castle. Everyone comes to me to check in. I'm not going to be a have-not. No, your ass a have-not this week. I loved it. I don't understand why Cody is running the house. To me, if you're in the Big Brother house, if there's one person who you always have to run a plan by, who you got to check in before you make your vote, who you want to protect, you don't want to see go home, that if everybody got to go to Cody before we decide, like, why does my best friend get to go home and not Cody's best friend? Like, if you see that is happening before your eyes, why is Cody not a target? Like, we just want Cody to win the money, right? That's what we doing. That's how we playing it. So that was funny. The next funny thing, because the have-nots, that was hilarious. The next funny thing, we see the three other girls, the blonde hair, blue-eyed girls, sitting in a hot tub, a bathtub. I got people sitting in hot tubs all the time. It was too close for my comfort. Like, when me and my girl sit in a hot tub, we have space. I ain't got to sit that close to nobody in no bathing suit if it ain't my man. But moving on from that. Nicole gets her ass up out the tub and slips and busts her ass. I hollered. I was at work. I was in the office by myself, so my holler, ain't nobody hear it. But I hollered. I said, that's what Fran's ass get. That's what she get. I loved it. And then they sitting there sounding like idiots. Yeah, us girls, we have to stick together. Like, why are the guys, we don't want all the guys to get to the end of the game. I'm like, bitch, y'all done voted out every woman in the game, but now you want to stick together. You should have just said us blonde hair, blue eyes girls. Us blonde hair, blue eyes need to stick together. That's what you should have said. I hate them. So now Day and Kevin are sitting somewhere wondering who do they think Memphis is going to nominate. And so David walks in the room and Day cannot compose herself to be cordial to David and she walks out. Like, she was able to find a way to speak to Christmas, the bitch that put you on the block with your best friend who you call your sister, for a bullshit ass reason. You were able to find a way to have words with Christmas. But David, who is not lying to you, and even if he did lie, is chalk it up to him not knowing the game. You have to get up and walk out. Like, you cannot look at him. It's that deep, girl. So now David comes in there and he's telling Kevin, I voted for how I said I voted. I did not lie to you all. And I don't understand. Like, David is not that good of a liar. He's not really that good of a fake crier. He just blew up, slamming doors and all this bullshit. Like, why would he be that passionate for a lie? He's not that good of a player. The whole time when, I don't see how Day couldn't see it. The whole time she was in that room with Danny, telling Danny, I knew it was David. I can't believe he did this to us. I can't believe he flipped the vote and we couldn't get Tyler out. The whole time Danny was sitting there like Danny was getting ready to laugh. Like, it's just really hard for me to see Davon getting played twice by friends. I said it. Go back to the very first video I made about Big Brother 22 when I knew who the cast members were going to be. I said it in that video. I said, Bae and Day do not need to trust Tyler and friends. I said Tyler is going to fuck over Bailey just like he did her season, which he did. And I said Friends is going to fuck over Davon just like she did that season, which she is doing now. So I could see it before the game even started. So I don't see how they couldn't. Now we're going to get to the moment that I hated the most this episode. Memphis finally shared a little bit of his nomination strategy. Davon and Kevin are pawns. He wants to backdoor David. Why? I don't know. Like, why? I don't know. Like, David hasn't proven to win any competitions to need to be backdoored. I don't even think David really understands what that backdoor is. So, I'm telling you. I heard Memphis say David is the NIG and catch himself. I'm telling you, production told Memphis, you cannot nominate David this week after you just said that shit. I promise you, I will put good money on it. You know I like to bet my paycheck. I promise you, production told Memphis, I know you want David, but after that fuck shit you just did, not this week. Not this week. So he goes to David and talks to David. Angie, how can I say this? I don't know how to say this. He talks to David like we are back in the segregation times and David is in his store. I know what I'm saying is fucked up. He's just talked to David like he wasn't shit. He talked to David with all the, I am better than you. You need to respect me because of who I am and what I look like. You are going to do what I say do. The whole time I'm yelling at my phone because I'm watching on my phone at work. Fuck you, Memphis. Fuck you. And your deal. And the way, like if I was David, I would have cussed him clean out. He's going to tell David, okay, you want to play with the big boys? Come in here and play with the big boys. Let me give you a deal. What you're going to do is, I'm going to save you this week, but you're not going to play in the veto. Like, if you get in the veto, you're not going to play for it. You ain't going to go for it. And I'm going to save you this week. And you can't tell nobody I told you this, because if you tell anybody I told you not to play in the veto, I'm going to know you spilled the beans and you're going to go up. You're going to be my enemy number one. The way he talked to you in that moment should have told you, David, you are enemy number one. I would have said, fuck you, not play in a veto. That, see, Dave, you could tell, you could talk to somebody who's not an all-star. And number one, anybody who is an all-star would know everything you just said to David was a red flag. As soon as you tell somebody not to play in the veto, ding, 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 he trying to backdoor me. I'm going home this week. I got the gun for this veto. If I don't do nothing else, I need to get this veto. David in his confessional talking about, oh, I'm going to shake hands with Memphis. He's saving me this week. I'm so happy Memphis. He could be playing me, but he's saving me this week. And I'm like, this is why I don't want David on my TV screen. Davon, this is why you should believe David over anybody else. He don't know what he doing, girl. I hated the way Memphis talked to David in that scene. I hated it. I hated it. Like, if it was any moment in television when I could reach in and slap somebody, it would have been that one. See, this is why Angie ain't gonna never get to play Big Brother, because I'm never gonna get to play new school Big Brother. Angie belongs on old school Big Brother, when you could cuss out the HOH, you could argue, you could be the angry black woman, you could do all this in somebody's face, and ain't nobody care. That was a part of the game. We were allowed to express ourselves in old school Big Brother. New school Big Brother, black people can't express themselves. And I ain't into no game where I can't express myself. Everybody else can say all the fuck shit they want to say, but we can't. And I don't like, that's what I don't like the most. So, fast forward. Day and Kevin are on the block. I was just waiting for Kevin to start crying. He didn't. Maybe he cried on the live feeds and they ain't show it. But I was just waiting for Kevin to start crying. He was like, I can't believe I'm on the block again. I'm like, Kevin, I told you. I said this 4 weeks ago. I said, Kevin might as well get ready to live on this block. He's going to be the pawn of the season. The pawn of the season. And spoiler, if you didn't know, Tyler won the veto. And the nomination stayed the same. So you tell me who going home, Day or Kevin. It's no reason to send Kevin home. Kevin is a little willing participant who will do whatever you say do if you save him a week. He's willing. He's going to be willing to sit on this block as your pawn as long as you don't vote him out. Kevin is about to be the pawn of the season. David is the dummy of the season. Ain't no point of voting him out. You know, unless Memphis get a third HOH, then production gonna give him the green light to do what he must do with David. But maybe next week, like every week, I say this every week, maybe next week, depending on the HOH, it might get good. I don't know. I really honestly don't know, because I feel like I'm gonna call it now. Next is gonna be Danny. Next is gonna be maybe a Tyler HOH, and he's going to be ready to take his shots at Danny. Enzo would take a shot at Danny. If David won it, David would probably want to take a shot at Danny for Tyler. You know, it's about time. If Christmas or Friends or somebody outside of that male structure of the alliance, they're just going to go after who's left? Kevin and David. So it's either going to be Kevin or David, or someone's going to take their shot at Danny. That's all I have to give. I'm like, I'm tired of being angry. Like, people are unsubscribing to me because I have to talk about the bullshit and people don't want to hear it. It's not about the game anymore, because there is no game to be played. Like, really, there is no game to be played. This whole episode, every week, when it's nominations week, you see plenty of people talking to the HOH, strategizing what we should do. We saw none of that. Anyway, y'all, like, comment, share. You know what to do. I appreciate it. And I will see you all. When is it? It's back Wednesday. I already told you what's going to happen. Tyler went in the POV, and the noms aren't changing. So do we really even have to talk Thursday? Let's just go ahead and get together on Friday and see who get voted out. And we could cry and be sad about Davon getting voted out, and then we could see who the next HOH is. We ain't got to keep checking in for the same bullshit unless something good happen. Unless some good tea is dropped or some good hot shit is talked, I'll come back after Wednesday. But if it ain't, I'll see y'all Friday. Okay. Bye.